Hello, and welcome to Way of Life Mindset Training. This is the Mindset Transformation course, Lesson 1, Awakening to Your Free Nature. My name is Forrest Folan. I'll be your host and your guide and facilitator through this process. I'm incredibly excited to be here with you. You may be surprised, though, however, to hear that I'm not here to motivate you. I'm not trying to change you in any way. I'm not going to dig out your past or even try to fix you. You are not broken. What I am going to do is guide you through a proven process used the world over with the foundation from MPI, the Mindset Performance Institute, and the transformation approach and guidance coming from us here at Way of Life Mindset Training. Please note, this is a customized experience and not a cookie cutter approach. So yes, you'll be receiving the same core set of video lessons as others are, but you, depending on the level you came in at, have access to coaching throughout this process, and this is what sets it apart. You see, most online courses are just that, courses. But this is a living, breathing mindset transformation program, and there are real people and real coaches in the group page, the private community we've set up for you, so you can get answers to your questions. You can see what's working for others during their different stages of their journey. And you can even make friends worldwide inside of the group. And as you develop in your own training, you may even want to reach out and help others along the way. So whether you're doing this as a self-paced study course or you're doing this with the accountability and guidance of myself, Master Transformation Coach Anthony Steele, or one of our certified mindset coaches, you're not alone. You're absolutely not alone in this process. And I'm not trying to hype anything up or even to motivate you, really, but I am excited because you're going to learn the system for being self-motivated and self-disciplined so that you can leave behind the frustration of negative mind chatter, of self-doubt, of self-sabotage, and finally get off that hamster's wheel, so to speak, so you can truly feel alive every day and live happy and healthy, which is the way you were meant to live. So without further ado, let's get into this. This is Awakening to Your Free Nature, Lesson 1. Our objective in working together as a team is to free you from fear, negative thinking, self-sabotage, and indecision so you can take action on creating your ideal life now. So imagine what that would look like for you. How would you like to feel each day when you woke up? If you had your ideal life, really, and you kind of have to sit back, and if you're in a darker place right now, or just starting out, you may feel really cynical and untrusting and skeptical about life and the people around you, and even the process that you're involved in now, and that's okay. But give yourself permission now just to imagine a little bit, okay? What would you like to feel each day? Would you like to feel free? Just get out of bed and feel good in your body and about your life. Feel joy, gratitude, feel just basically happy, feel inspired, feel energized, confident. How about all of the above? Well, you don't have to be able to see the whole road, but I'm here to tell you it's possible. Unfortunately, we continue to self-sabotage to no end, don't we? We go one step forward, two steps back. Sometimes just as we're seeing success, we do something to screw it up. I've done that, and I'm sure you have too. We all have. We keep hitting our head against the wall over and over again. And we're seeing other people do it, but for some reason, it keeps eluding us. We're seeing other people lose the weight. We're seeing other people, write that book. We're seeing other people start the business, or other people getting married and having kids and living their dream life. Why is it passing us up? So we're going to address that. If only people could see on the outside how we feel on the inside, right? There's all these things going on the inside, but sometimes they're just seeing our mask, our social mask, and we cover up what's really happening on the inside. And then we get to the point where we feel like a fraud, and who can make progress then, right? We're not in integrity. We might be talking about health, but we're not looking the part or feeling the part. We may be talking about business and finance, but our financial situation may not live up to, what we're telling others to have or do or be. So we feel like a fraud. And then what happens? Then what happens? So we know it's our mindset, but how do we change, right? How? What is the actual plan, the blueprint? If you could just give me the simple answer, I'll take action on it, right? I'm sure you'll take action on it. So where is that blueprint? So one thing I want to let you know is that there isn't a book. There isn't a phrase. There isn't a technique. And there isn't a single solitary aha moment where everything just clicks and everything's finished and the rest of your life is green acres from there. It doesn't work that way. However, there is a process, and that's what we're undergoing right now. There is a process where you'll be able to look back in 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, and on, and you'll look in the mirror and say, I just can't even recognize myself from where I used to be. In fact, my life is barely recognizable from all the changes that have taken place. And it'll almost sneak up on you. But you're going to be going through this process of change. And it starts on the inside. Okay, we're always looking for the change to happen on the outside. That perfect, plan, that guru, that system. And it just doesn't work that way. It's a process. And that's what we're going to be undergoing with this type of mindset training. So what are the tangible things you want to obtain in your life? Do you want to travel? Do you want to have a strong, fit body? Is that your goal? Maybe your goals are something tangible, the house on the beach. There's nothing wrong with tangible goals. You could want a Lamborghini. Whatever it is, those are okay. Education. Maybe a higher degree of athletic performance. Maybe you're just getting started with your fitness or your athleticism or your body transformation. Maybe you've been at it for a while and you're ready for that next level. So whatever it is, that is your goal. That's your tangible goal. Maybe it's a career path that you're trying to either better your career path that you're currently on or change it altogether. Perhaps start your own business. And you have that dream, that fire, that passion inside of you that wants to come out and be given to the world, but you're just not sure how to get that started or what that's going to look like, or if people are going to judge you, and if you're going to fail, and you hear all this stuff about, all the businesses that fail and you never get started, or maybe it's your life purpose. You're just not even sure why you're on this planet, and you're really concerned with finding a life purpose, or you just feel out of place in the world, which I have for many years of my life felt way out of place and disconnected from the world. So maybe you need to find that life purpose. Or relationships with others, yourself, your kids, parents, friends, coworkers, whoever that may be. Maybe you're trying to find a relationship and attract that right person into your life. So relationships is a tangible goal that you might have. Or money and finance, and I think that we can't sit here and have an honest discussion about ourself and our own transformation unless we talk about money. And money is just I think of it as a form of energy that's fluid. It flows, it moves in and it moves out. But how do you use money purposefully and work with money in a way that it doesn't make you feel like you're lacking, or that money is the only answer? And so we're going to talk about money, talk about finance, but we're going to talk about it all. And that's why mindset is the linchpin. It's the turning point. Once mindset is addressed, all the things underneath it follow. But how will we do it? There's that how again. It keeps on creeping up on us. How will we do it? If your why is strong enough, you will figure out the how. And Bill Walsh said that, and many others have said that. If your why is strong enough. So start to think about what is your why. And hopefully you have a notebook, a notepad right there with you right now, and a pen and paper. And start to write down 1 or 2 or 3 reasons. What is your why? Is it your kids? Is it your vision of yourself and your future and your ability to be able to give back to the world at some point once you transform? What is your why? And when you create it that it's so strong, the how, you'll find a way. It's going to happen, okay? But even more important than the how and the why is the who. The who. And we often don't talk about this enough. This comes back to you. not The Who, the rock band from the 70s, but The Who, as in you. So we're going to get into, The Who and what it is that, you are looking for underneath the influences of who's come into your life and maybe who have people that and different circumstances that have perhaps steered you into a certain direction, but maybe you found out that wasn't really you. Or maybe you just want to obtain your true authentic self and be able to express yourself in ways that are truly you, and you haven't figured out how to do that. Or maybe you're just trying to find yourself in general, and when you do, then you could find all the things that align with where you want to go. So it all comes back to The Who. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. So your unconscious or your subconscious mind is directing your life now. Your subconscious mind controls 98% of your habits, thoughts, and behaviors. So most people, let's say in New Year's, that's why the statistic is only 8% of people actually get to their New Year's goals, 8% or less, out of the millions that set New Year's goals. Only 8%? Why? What's going on? It's because they set a goal with their conscious mind, but it's the subconscious story underneath that and the unconscious layers underneath it that are actually directing your thoughts, habits, and actions and your behaviors. So no wonder the gyms are crowded in January and mid-February, and by mid-March, they're a ghost town because it's short-lived if you just focus on the conscious mind. And we have to go to the subconscious level. And, 95% of what we now know about the human brain has just been discovered within the last 5 years. I mean, this is incredible groundbreaking achievements in neuroscience, in psychology, counseling, in the study of age-old mind over matter masters that have been doing certain mind techniques for thousands of years, and we're blending it with Western science. And so we're on the cusp of just some amazing things that are going on. So Carl Jung also said, your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams? Who looks inside awakens. And so we're going to continually address that theme, is we're looking inside. So this is the journey. The path, the way, the Tao. So along this trip, this is you. This is you preparing for the journey. You're in the tent, the lights aglow. You're sitting there with your journal. You're excited. You're fearful. You don't know how to get maybe past the lake or the tundra or the frozen ground. The environment around you might be rugged and dangerous. And you don't know what's beyond the mountain. You don't know what's there, but you can see some type of horizon, or maybe you've been given some guidance that there is a horizon. And so you have faith enough to weather the storm and to start making plans and start to get ready for when the time is right, where you can start moving forward into this journey. So I'm really excited for you. This is self-discovery. We're going to give you the life tools to be able to, have strength in body, mind, and spirit, so that everything that you do, you'll have the tools to get to. So, this image of the camper, the adventurer on this journey, right? And you can think of the tools, right? The journal, or the tent and the sleeping bag, the pickaxe, the Rambo knife, maybe the fishing line, maybe the guidebook. All these different things are tools, and you're going to get all these tools for your toolbox. And then it's going to create the edge in life for you. And, Abraham Lincoln said, if I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I would need 6 of those hours to sharpen my axe. And that's so true, is to sharpen that edge so you feel confident, ready, and any obstacle that comes up, right? Because you're never going to get rid of problems. Let me just put that out there. Problems and obstacles are a part of life, but what's going to happen during this process is that those problems and obstacles will become it might be even hard to fathom this right now, but they're going to become your greatest ally, because those problems and obstacles are going to teach you how to get resourceful, how to gain strength, and how to elevate your life. And that could be a very hard thing to really grasp, especially if the problems and obstacles in your life are so dangerous and life-threatening even to your body, mind, and spirit, that you can't even understand or fathom how that can help you. But there is a book. It's called The Obstacle is the Way. It's a really great read, highly recommended. But that's what we're talking about, is the obstacles in your life are going to become a way for you to move forward. The real you. So stripping away the layers. We have layers of subconscious story. We have, different experiences and beliefs that we've incurred. And some of them we're holding on so tightly to, but are those really us? So we're going to get down to the real you. And when you're at your authentic self, now you can have those relationships in your life that are truly authentic, because people feel you coming across as being completely authentic. And so your business, your love life, your relationships with friends and family and coworkers are all going to improve, no doubt. And then lastly, this is an adventure. So hold on to your hats, hold on to your protein shakes, lace up your sneakers, rev your engines. Let's do this. So Albert Einstein, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. We have to have some kind of level lifting us up. We can't reach down and grab our own feet and pull ourselves off the ground. We need some help with that. And that's why we're here. I'm Forrest Folan, and this is Coach Anthony Steele. And together we are co-owners and founders of the Way of Life Bootcamp. And it's incredible being in the fitness industry and the mindset industry and all the things that we get to do. We have to pinch ourselves sometimes because we truly love our clients, and we're grateful for everybody that we work with, including you, and we're so grateful that you're on this journey with us. We've released 10,000 pounds of fat in the communities that we've served. We have clients in over 13 countries. We've had over 1,000 transformations. We've been the winner of the best weight loss service in our city of Oceanside, California for the last, it's 4 years now running. Anthony was, however, if I could be completely honest with you, not always the fitness guy as he's known today, the master transformation coach as people know him as today. He was actually over 300 pounds. And not that everyone over 300 pounds or who's overweight is depressed, but he really was depressed, self-defeating himself in his own mindset. He had started on a path, and he was working toward a career in the NFL as a professional football player. He was playing college football alongside Tony Romo, who did make it to the pros and was one of the greats. But there were certain circumstances that led Anthony off that path, and he became self-defeating, and he started hanging around with toxic people. He created a self-absorbed toxic mindset where that was very destructive to himself and others. Witnessed his mother pass away from cancer, and just went into a downward spiral. And he was ready to take his own life and to end it. And luckily for us, he didn't. He had caught a glimpse of hope somewhere, a glimpse of light. He remembered that one thing in his life that he could always turn to was exercise, and he started to exercise, and he started to eat right. And just there, eating natural, wholesome foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, lean meats, and healthy fats like avocados, and these things improved his mindset tremendously right off the bat. And then he got coaching. He got around coaches and mentors that believed him through, right? We can't always believe ourselves through, but sometimes these coaches and mentors can come around and come alongside us and believe us through. And that's what he found. And his faith and his mentorships and everything came together, and he transformed. And today he lives the life of his dreams. He has, 3 great kids and a wonderful, loving wife, and he's on his path with his purpose, his life purpose. So great to work alongside of him. I often refer to him as the Michael Jordan, the Les Brown, the Tony Robbins, and the Mother Teresa of fitness boot camps and body, mind, spirit transformations. He's an awesome guy. You'll hear from him soon in some of the upcoming lesson plans. And then myself, I also was not the fitness guy that people know me as today. I got into my teens, into drugs, alcohol. I had a negative vision of who I was, a negative self-image of who I was. I thought I was ugly. I thought I was scrawny and but with a beer belly at the same time. So I just felt like this horrible creature walking around, this misfit. And I often walked with my head down. I was the shyest kid, literally, in my high school. I could hardly get into a conversation with someone without my self-talk just defeating me right away. Have you ever talked to somebody and then in the back of your mind, your self-talk is like, oh, maybe this person doesn't even want to talk to me, or they don't have time to listen to my petty talk. So I was always second-guessing myself. And, I lived in the shadows, really. And it down spiraled to the point where I was just numbing myself at a certain point with worse and worse drugs. And eventually I became homeless for a time. And I was 17 years old. And I remember very clearly this one particular night I was shuffling through the streets, trying to knock on doors, looking for a place where I can crash on someone's couch in my hometown, Shoreview, California, San Mateo, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I was kind of zoning out. And I remember the black and yellow because I was standing under the yellow street light and I could see the drizzle coming down and I was just zoning out there. And then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see a burgundy car pull up. And it was my grandmother. And she rolled down her passenger side window and she leaned out and she peered out over her thick glasses and she said, "Forrest, take care of your body. If you take care of your body's going to take care of your mind. And then your mind is going to take care of your life." And then, with that, she just drove away. She didn't offer me a ride or anything. I was like, "Hey, Grandma." But she drove away. Maybe she was afraid of me at that point. Who knows? I would have been afraid of myself at that point. But, the point is that she gave me that pure grandmother wisdom that I needed to hear at that moment in my life. And, are we always ready to accept those wisdoms? The wisdoms are all around us, really. But we're not always ready to accept those, or they don't really resonate. But I was ready to hear that. And it seemed like just the perfect, simple plan, right? Just take care of your body. That's it. Just take care of your body. If you take care of your body's going to take care of your mind is going to take care of your life. And so, wow, but we don't always just change overnight, right? That doesn't happen. So I underwent a process of self-discovery and change. I started to eat right. I started to think about, the people I was hanging around and what I was doing to my body and the toxins that I was taking in. Started eating better foods and drinking water and stopped drinking alcohol. Maybe not altogether at first, but I definitely cut back. And I finally pursued a passion of mine eventually, which was martial arts. And I went and I, like they say, when the student is ready, the master will appear. And so I found a Taoist master, a 5th degree Taoist master, Daniel Johnson, Sabonim Daniel Johnson. He instructed me over, I committed. And I never committed to anything in my life, but I committed at first just to that 3 months. And that 3 months turned into a 13-year process. And during that, I went through and I learned about meditation, and I learned about the study of the body and the mind, and fitness, and the integration of wholesome foods. And I learned about Qigong, and I learned about the power of deep diaphragm breathing, and the how important it is. The 5 people that you hang around, the 5 people that you hang around the most become who you are. So if you're hanging around people that are partying and smoking and drinking, well, that's going to be you. If you're hanging around people that are overweight, not exercising, and just sitting around and gossiping, well, that's going to be you. If you're hanging around high achievers, millionaires, then that's going to be you. If you're hanging around people that are in the fitness lifestyle and focused on mindset development, then that's going to be you. So really start to think about who are the 5 closest people in your life, and how can you not I'm not saying push them away, but how can you find new people and surround yourself with the people that you want to become? And that's a great method, and that's what happened to me. So, I got a 2nd degree black belt. I became a fitness coach. I started to change and transform my life, and today I'm living the life of my dreams. Really, like I said, I got to pinch myself. I get to work with some of the most amazing people locally, nationally, and globally, and I just can't, fathom. I couldn't fathom back then what I'd be doing now. Training groups of hundreds of people, training men, women, elementary school children, working with people all over the globe who are world leaders in mindset and fitness development. It's just incredible. So, and being featured on Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra's newsletter, The Mandala, and they push us out to over 1 million people, and how we're incorporating, meditation and mindset and fitness all together. Yeah, it's just such an honor. My mom always listened or watched Oprah Winfrey, and to have her team, invite us into their space and share us with the world has just been incredible. And then the whole thing is bringing it back to you now. Taking everything that we know and everything that we've been through and all the studying and the ups and downs and the failures, really when you're, one of the things is that when you're coming into a new system, sometimes you're not, just signing up to learn about our successes. You are learning about our failures and how you can avoid them. So we're going to be able to, like the landmines that are on the ground, we're going to be able to point those out for you along the way and say, don't step there. Don't step there. Yes. Step over here. Yes. Hop, skip, and jump over here. Now you're where you want to be. So, and our approach is the middle way. Sometimes we'll carry you. Sometimes we'll provide resistance and have you carry us, so to speak. But we're going to be setting up that type of a transformation where it's not too hard. It's not too soft. It's somewhere right in the middle. So that way, you are moving forward when you're ready to move forward. And that's the way we do it. So a few disclaimers: we're not medical professionals, so please seek advice of your doctor before trying this or any other fitness or diet program. That's just one of those things that we have to say. Our lawyers tell us to say that. We are, however, certified and trained mindset professionals and fitness professionals with years of experience, proven results, and we use time-tested and proven methods to create successful and lasting change. We are part of a worldwide global network of mindset, fitness, and health professionals. And our mindset work is backed by the Mindset Performance Institute, MPI. Our approach is often lighthearted in character. We like to have fun. We like to be lighthearted, and we like to have you feel welcome. But at the same time, we use sound science and proven methods, and we do take your results very, very seriously. So let's get started, shall we? So get that pen, that paper out. Free nature versus bound nature. Here's your first lesson. Okay, this is very important. Setting the foundation now. Free nature versus bound nature. Write this one down. So what is free nature? Free nature is that mental, physical, emotional state that you're in when you're feeling joy, when you're feeling happy, when you're feeling exuberant, when you're feeling energized and confident. It's that state where, you're feeling in the flow of life, and you might experience it at different times of your day. Maybe when you're doing some of your favorite activities, like walking on the beach or browsing in a bookstore or having that daybreak cup of coffee, whatever it is. Maybe you've experienced that free nature state when you're in that a dialogue with someone. It just flows so naturally, and that's that free nature state. So think of it as all the positive states that you're in, okay, simply. And then bound nature. So what is the bound nature state? Like the picture shows, it's when you're overwhelmed, anxiety, stress, worry, you're unhappy. You could be different degrees of that. You could be completely depressed. You could be, suicidal or near suicidal. You could be, damaging yourself, damaging others, victimizing yourself, victimizing others. It could be a low level of underlying anxiety as well, where you kind of feel okay on the surface, but underneath everything, things aren't so okay. And that could be a bound nature state as well. So it could be fear of the unknown, doubt. Bound nature, you're feeling limited. You're seeing, all the obstacles instead of the opportunities. And so what I want you to think about is, how much of your day typically are you in free nature versus bound nature? Okay, and be as completely honest about that. Are you 50%, 50%? Okay, great. There's no good or bad. We're not judging it here. We're just writing it down in our journal and then using that as a starting point, because we're going to be up-leveling that as we go on this process. So, you might be like I was at one point in my life, 98%, 95 to 99% in bound nature state, okay, where you just can't see a way out. And, if you're at that point, I want to let you know that that's okay. There is a way out. There is light at the end of the tunnel. What Les Brown always says, if you fall down, try to fall on your back, because that way you can look up. And if you can look up, you can get up. And that's the thing is, there is a way. So, if you're in that state, don't judge it right now. Just write it down. Or you may be, 75% free nature already. 80% free nature already. Great. But is there room for improvement? And wherever you're at, what are the implications of moving forward with that? So write that down. What percentage are you in free nature versus bound nature? And then can you imagine what your life would look like if you were in free nature just 10% or 20% more of the time? How would your relationships look? How would your approach to business and finance be? How about your fitness and your belief in yourself and what you can achieve? And there's so many aspects to life. So just consider the implications to that in your life. Whatever that would look like, just 10 or 20% more free nature. Incredible, right? Incredible to think about that. So just know that when everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. So this is an important concept. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. So you can have two people go through the same things and they'll take away different meanings and they'll process it in totally different ways depending on their outlook, depending on their mindset. So you can have two guys, for example, go to prison. One comes out, starts writing, or one guy goes through the process and although through the traumas and all the horrible things that happened to him in prison, he's working on bettering himself. Maybe he's studying, or he found some books, or he found a mentor even inside of prison or outside of prison, or however that works. And he gets out of prison, he writes a book, he does speaking tours around the world, and he dedicates his life to helping others. And there's people I know that have done that. And then there's the other guy that is in the cell next to him, went through the same exact thing, came from the same exact background and had similar childhood experiences, parents, and same kind of abuse and trauma and drugs and abuse. But that person ends up taking a totally different path. And he's released from prison, but he keeps that prison mindset. He goes back to jail. He's harming others, harming himself, and he ends up, at the end of the day, not making it. So, that's a worst case scenario, like a prison or even a prisoner of war. There's been cases with different responses coming out of that. But also things like Disneyland. Look at something that simple. Disneyland. Let's look at two people that are going into Disneyland. It's the happiest place on earth, supposedly. One person can have a wonderful time and they're excited. The other person can be like, oh man, the food here is horrible. I hate standing in line, yada, yada, yada. The weather, it's so hot, blah, blah, blah. And they can't stop complaining. What's the difference? Right. It's mindset. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. So step one is bringing the darkness to light. This is the first step. Okay? This is the first step. So what we're doing here is we're basically using awareness and accountability, the first two A's of a process that you're going to discover. It's called the 4 A's, and that comes from the Mindset Performance Institute. We're going to learn more about that, but you don't need to know everything about it now. But how does your bound nature present itself? Okay? How does your bound nature show up? What form does it take? Is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it fear? Is it self-doubt? Is it worry? Is it anxiety? Is it victimization? Or, is it ego tripping or ego control on others? Bullying. So there's so many different forms that your bound nature can take, but I want you to start thinking about those forms, okay? So once you can see that, then what's going to happen is the awareness becomes the panacea for making a true change. Okay, awareness isn't the complete picture, but it becomes the turning point, if you will, for making a true change. So awareness is critical, and we must start there, but it's not the complete picture. In 2 weeks, we're going to show you the flow switch, which is going to be a tool that's going to take you out of the bound nature state and put you into your free nature state. And as you practice that tool, you're going to get better and better at it. You're going to establish new neural pathways in your mind, and you're going to see and feel the changes, and it's going to affect your whole life. So your first assignment is your 3 usual suspects, okay? Remember this movie? This is a great movie. Kaiser Sose, yeah? That was Kevin Spacey's character. Really great movie. Your first assignment, journal your 3 usual suspects for the next 2 weeks, okay? The next 2 weeks. And this has to be done, and it's going to be a great foundation for you. And it's going to open up everything. It's going to open up everything in terms of what are the triggers, the thoughts, emotions, all the things that come up until your bound nature takes over. Okay, so a little bit more on that. So you saw this cool little movie by Disney Pixar, Inside Out, where there's anger, there's disgust, fear, sadness. This is what I'm talking about. So we're characterizing these aspects of your bound nature, creating these little cartoon characters, if you will. But we're not going to do joy, okay? We're not going to do anything that's happy or happy related, because really we're bringing the darkness to light, right? That's our goal here. So we're going to have a bound nature journal. We're not going to be journaling about anything else right now except for focusing on the bound nature state. So bound nature journaling. 3 usual suspects. There may be more, but let's start with 3. We're going to give them names. Example, worried Wilma, angry Alan, depressed Debbie, self-loathing Linda. I know these are kind of goofy, funny names, but it helps it stick, and it helps it kind of help you characterize it. Fearful Fran, poor me Paula, guilty Gus, sad Susan. So basically what's going to happen is, as we describe these in our journals, it's going to take these parts of our bound nature and help us separate it from ourselves and disassociate it a little bit, so we can see it more clearly and we can observe it and we can start to make changes where we need to. So, but if you don't do that, then it just controls you. However, I will say this as a little disclaimer, is that, say anger is your thing, right? So you write down in your bound nature journal about, angry Alan or angry Amy that keeps coming out. What it does is it disassociates, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't, give you permission to, let that part of you just run loose. You can't be like, oh, I punched a hole in the wall. Well, that was angry Alan's fault. That wasn't me. So it doesn't release you from responsibility from your life, in other words. So just want to make that clear. So describe everything about them. So you're going to describe the body tension. How does this feel in your body? Do you have tension in your shoulders, heaviness in your chest, maybe even some back pain or something like that? Body pains are actually very common. And they can be a result of the bound nature states, believe it or not. So then breathing pattern. How is your breathing? Is it faster? Is it higher up in your chest? What is your breathing pattern like? Is it very, is it very shaky? What is that like? What are the triggers? Are there certain areas of the house that you're in that triggers this? Or certain people that you're around trigger you into a bound nature state? Certain things that people say, or certain things that you say in your mind. And that's why I want you to really be aware of your thoughts. Okay, so start to write down your thoughts. What are your thoughts that lead up to the bound nature states, and the emotions, the posture of your body? Maybe you slump down or curl up into a ball when it gets really bad, or maybe you just clench up and you're like ready to punch a hole through the wall, or whatever it may be. What's your posture like? And then even your facial muscles, describe that, write it down. Your eyes, what are they doing? Are they clenching? Are they bugging out? What are your eyes doing? What are your habits? What are your actions? What are your different behaviors that you're doing? Are you tapping the desk? Are you grinding your teeth? Are you reaching for a cigarette or a drink? What's going on inside of that? Are you yelling? Are you exploding? Are you just staying quiet and submissive and victimizing yourself? Whatever it is. So here's an example. Worried Wilma. When the thought of my finances or my health, etc., pop into my head, I feel worried. Breathing gets shallow, my eyes go down. I tend to want to crawl back in bed or turn to a drink. Neck muscles get tight. I start to tap on the desk. I then continue to think worse thoughts, like we might not have a place to live soon. Then I start to panic. I get sweaty and irritable with everyone. I clench my jaw. So you can see that's a really great start of a description of a bound nature state, in this case, worried Wilma, and what happens. And I'm sure that if this person kept and continued to write, they'd even come across with more things, more awareness. They might even say, well, I clench my jaw, and then I get some pain in my jaw, and then I feel guilty about that pain, and then the guilt causes, and then you might even uncover another bound nature state. And that's fine too, but right now we're just going to focus on the three that we encounter the most through our day. Okay? So the world that you see is really a perspective. Okay? A perspective of the filters or the lens that you're seeing it through. Okay? So if your lens is like the one on the left, where you're looking through the glass and it's got gunk and filth and all this accumulated garbage that you've been carrying, and you can't even see out of it clearly. So because you can't see out of it clearly, you can't operate in your life effectively. Well, I'm here to tell you that the glass is not broken. It's just it just has accumulated all that dirt and gunk and garbage. So in other words, you're not broken at all. And so anyone that's ever made you feel broken or like you need to be fixed, tell them to go and screw themselves. Just kidding. #JK. But really, you're not broken. You are perfect in this universe. And, once you are able to go through this process and the lens becomes clear, now you're going to be able to see life as it truly is. Okay? Which means that you're going to be able to see the green grass. You're going to be able to see the beautiful trees and the flowers. You're going to see the sky, how beautiful and expansive and blue it is, and feel that connection. You're going to see the clouds, and you're going to be able to dream big and see that bigger vision of yourself. And this isn't motivational woo-woo talk. It's not esoteric. It's just what's going to happen and what the process of what you're undergoing right now. So just want to let you know that you're not broken. So step 2, after your homework is your bound nature journaling, you're going to get your 3 usual suspects. This is going to help you right away, kind of as a lifeline. Okay. Basically, what this is it's if you're in the darkness right now, I've just given you a tool. It's a flashlight, and it's something that you can turn on. And so this is the gratitude list. Your gratitude list is a very important part of your process. And it's a powerful, powerful tool that I've used in my life, and hundreds, if not thousands, of my clients and people around the world doing mindset development have used to great success. And at first, it may seem like that's it, but really don't take it lightly. Okay, so number it 1 to 7, 1 to 5, 1 to 10, however many things that you can list out. 10 at the most of things that you're grateful for. Okay. They could be things like your family, your kids. It could be something simple as, just grateful for the ability to take a breath, or the ability to be able to walk. Okay. Some people don't even have that, right? So I'm thankful, and then write down the things that you're thankful for. And what you're going to do is, this is going to be part of a new daily ritual for you. Okay. A new daily ritual is that every morning, okay, and you're going to tie it into something. Maybe it's while you're brushing your teeth, or maybe it's you just grab it first thing before you even get out of bed, and you go through the gratitude list that you've written down, and one at a time. And you don't just read it through and then just done. Okay, bye. No, it's more of an approach where you're going to feel and you're going to let the feelings come in of gratitude. So a lot of times we think of gratitude as something that happens, when we're given a gift, or here it's Christmas, I feel real grateful. Somebody said thank you to me, I say thank you back. That's a part of gratitude, but it's not the whole picture. Really, gratitude is an emotion that you can generate at any time. And so, it's like a superpower, really. And the thing is, when you're grateful and you're practicing gratitude, you tend to attract more of what you're grateful for into your life. Don't ask me how it works, but it does. So the gratitude list, you're going to go over that every morning for 5 to 10 minutes. And as you're going through it, just really visualize connecting with those things that you're grateful for. Okay? And you can incorporate it into just a breathing practice, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But breathe softly. Let the tension and stress go. And what you're going to do is just visualize connecting and giving compassion, love, and gratitude to those things that you so cherish in your life. And spend some time with that. And it's going to flip you into a whole different script in your mind. And it may be short-lived at first, but with practice, it'll make more and more sense. And then if you ever find yourself in a real dark, bound nature state and you just don't know what to do, take out this flashlight. It's going to be in your wallet, in your purse, or somewhere nearby where you're going to keep it with you at all times. And you're going to go through your gratitude list and remind yourself what you're grateful for. So gratitude it's not happiness that brings us gratitude. It's gratitude that brings us happiness. And so it's a whole different switch, a whole different perspective on gratitude. And then that brings us to step 3. And this is going to be the final step in this first lesson. And this is another skill. Okay, so I gave you the flashlight, right? This skill is kind of like this is like giving you Batman's utility belt. I mean, this is like Superman's X-ray vision and laser eyes. I mean, this is an awesome superpower, this skill right here. And when you develop it, you can turn it on and off like a switch, and you can become more clear of mind, more grounded. It'll give you more focus. It'll bring you out of negative mind chatter. It'll bring you back to the present moment. It'll help you do things like, if you have a hard task in front of you, studying for a test or public speaking or an athletic event, you can use breathing as, this is like your samurai sword right here. Okay, so deep belly breathing or diaphragm breathing will take you out of the fight or flight mode, for one. So, if we are stressed, if we're anxious, where is our breathing? Is it fast and high up in our chest, or is it low and relaxed? Really, if we're anxious, we think about that. We're anxious or nervous, scared, whatever it is, we're breathing faster and we're breathing higher and higher into our chest. So when we breathe with our chest, we're breathing with our intercostal muscles. Those are the muscles between our rib cage. But if you were to watch a newborn baby breathe, okay, you would notice that the belly rises and falls, not the chest. So why is that? So that has to do with the diaphragm. And the diaphragm is pulling the oxygen down to the lower lobes of the lungs, and it's really drawing in oxygen and sending out the toxins, which is the carbon dioxide of each breath. But as we age and we get older and we hold on to traumas and we hold on to certain emotional patterns, our breathing gets more and more constricted, and then we have a dysfunctional breathing pattern that is this mixture of oxygen but also carbon dioxide, which is a toxin. It clouds our mind, it makes us unfocused, we get more anxious, and then it spins us into a cycle. It affects our whole physiology, our state of mind, body, mind, and emotion and spirit. So, wow, that's a lot that I just poured out, right? Breathing, it's important. So you'll be able to literally switch your nervous system state from your parasympathetic state, or from your sympathetic state into your parasympathetic nervous system state, which is your body's healing state. And like I said, you'll come back to the present moment. And I'll go through the technique with you right now, actually. So go ahead and sit tall in your chair. Okay. I'm going to teach you how to use the samurai sword right now. Sit up tall in your chair and go ahead and relax your shoulders. And put one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach, okay? So here's the thing. Like we said, the breath, if your emotions, basically, like if you're feeling a certain way, it's going to affect your breathing, like we discussed. If you're angry, your breathing's going to be faster, in other words, higher up in your chest. So if your emotions affect your breathing, could your breathing affect your emotions? Could it work the other way around? So could you, in effect, have control over your emotional state by choosing to breathe in a certain pattern? Wow, that's an interesting thought, right? So let's try it. Inhale, soft and light, in through your nose, and just right now breathe normally. Just notice. Look at your hands. They're down on your belly. They're down on your chest. Or what's happening? Does your chest rise and fall? Does your belly rise and fall? Where does your breath go? Does it stop higher in your chest, or is it coming down low? Just observe right now. Okay, you don't have to have the answers. Just observe. Listen to my voice. Is your breathing rough, or is your breathing smooth? There's no good or bad right here. We're just observing. How about what's longer? Is the inhale longer or is the exhale longer? And are you pausing after the inhale before you exhale? Or do you just go right into the next breath? Okay, good. So you got a chance to just look and be in the moment with your breathing for a second. So cool. Jot down any notes that you experienced, and if you felt any kind of weird pressures or anything like that, or if you felt dizzy, or if your mind feels maybe clearer, or maybe you have a headache. I don't know. Just write down any notes that you observed. You're the scientist, and this is the experiment right now. So now, one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly again. Now we're going to breathe down to the belly. So you're going to inhale soft and light in through the nose, all the way down to your stomach, to your abdomen, filling up your abdomen like you're filling up a balloon, and hold it. Feel it. Then breathe out. You're going to draw the stomach muscles in, belly button in toward your spine, and get a full exhale, and then repeat. Inhale soft and light in through your nose, all the way down to your stomach, to your abdomen. Look at your hand. Is it moving up? Expanding out. Exhale, you're going to pull those stomach muscles in and breathe out, full breath. Okay, might not be easy at first. That's okay. Breathe in, soft and light, in through the nose, all the way down. Hold it, feel it. And breathe out. So if you need to, you can practice a couple more times. You could press pause in this video and practice a couple more times, but that's the deep belly breathing, the diaphragm breathing that I was referring to, that you could turn on and off like a switch. And it's so powerful. I've used it in martial arts training. I've used it in singing. I've used it to help me be more creative. I've used it in athletic races and events. I've used it to prepare myself before tests. I've used it to prepare myself before speaking in front of large audiences. It's incredible, this tool, right? Or even to calm down after a bound nature state, right? So, HeartMath, this, I don't know if you've seen this, really cool device. It kind of opens you up to what's going on in the body though. The heart rate variability that you see on the left side in our normal day-to-day pattern, when our nervous system is in its sympathetic nervous system state, which is our go state, is very erratic. And so we have this communication that happens between our heart and our brain. And this little device picks that up, and it shows that our regular state is this very erratic, jumbled state, some more, some less. But what happens with the breathing and breathing into that pattern where your body starts to get into that parasympathetic nervous system state, and you really feel calm and things start to slow down and you're able to immerse yourself in the moment, this communication between your heart and your brain and your central nervous system takes place. And if you've done it enough, you'll actually be able to notice it, and it'll become very obvious to you when it does happen. But this device actually helps bring that awareness to the surface. This thing used to be, when I first started using it, used to be on the computer, and I paid like $2,000 for it when it first came out. Nowadays, you can get this little device, hooks up to your ear. You can put it on your iPhone or your smartphone, and it's like $100. So pretty cool, right? This will help you test your heart rate variability, your heart rate coherence, and it just brings home the fact that when you breathe in the way that I showed you, your whole physiology and mindset and emotional state and everything changes. So what does stress do to your body, right? What is stress really doing? So, man, it's wreaking havoc. And we know that 9 out of every 11 people in the hospital right now are there because of stress-related illnesses. So your head, you have issues with mood, anger, depression, irritability, sadness, lack of energy, swings in appetite, concentration problems, sleeping issues, headaches and pain, mental health issues like anxiety disorders and panic attacks. So this is plaguing us with all kinds of problems: skin, acne, joints and muscles. We got aches and pains, tension. We can have lower back pain because of it, knee pain even, lowered bone density, heart, increased blood pressure, increased heartbeat, higher cholesterol and instances of heart attack, stomach cramps, reflux, that acid reflux, nausea, and weight fluctuations, and your pancreas. This could even lead you into a faster onset of a diabetes. Intestines, digestive issues like irritable bowel syndrome, diarrhea, constipation, reproductive system. It could affect and reduce your sex drive, lower your sperm production for men, and increase your pain during periods for women. Immune system, reduced ability to battle and recover from illnesses. So stress is really taking its toll on our body. How does it affect weight and weight gain? So chronic stress, if your stress is up, your cortisol is up. And cortisol is a hormone in the body. It's a stress hormone. And what happens with that is the stress hormone actually stores belly fat. So directly to your stomach, you're going to be adding weight if you're high stress, okay? And it could even be a stress that's underlying. So if you're not practicing the breathing and things like that, or if you've never been taught that, this is going to counteract that, and your cortisol is going to be coming back down, which is great. Also, your leptin sensitivity goes down when you're under chronic stress. So that's a bad thing, because leptin is a hormone in your body that helps your body break down and burn fat for energy. And it also sends a message to your brain letting you know that you're full after a meal. So if you become leptin resistant, then you're not going to be able to break down fat for energy, and your body's not going to know when it's full. So you're going to keep eating. So it's so important to work on the breathing. Again, it's going to help with weight loss. Hunger goes up, fat storage goes up, your weight goes up. So keep that in mind as we're going through that this is going to affect your body in so many different positive ways. Top 5 sources of stress: money, work, the economy, family, responsibilities, all these sources of stress, right? But remember, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. So we got to come back to taking responsibility for ourselves and how we feel. And during this process of everything that you're going to learn in your transformation, you're going to be able to take the power back. But all the causes of stress, things like drugs, pollutants, those are chemical causes. Emotional, got anger, fear, guilt, loneliness. Mental causes like anxiety, long work hours, media overload. We're constantly texting and being, Facebook, and sometimes it's just too much. Worry, we can have constant worry. And, that saying about worrying is praying for what you don't want. I love that saying. It's so true. Nutritional, allergies, vitamin and mineral deficiencies. A lot of us are deficient in vitamin D and we don't know it. A lot of us are deficient in magnesium and we don't know it. So, talk to your doctor about that. But nutritional deficiencies. So physical, exertion, health, lack of sleep, travel, psycho-spiritual, financial or career pressure, relationships, spiritual alignment, traumatic, childhood trauma, injuries, past traumatic stress disorder, surgery, terrorism. Those are all different causes of stress. So let's come back to the breathing, okay? So let's come back to the breathing and practice together. Again, sitting tall in your chair, breathe. Inhale, soft and light, in through your nose. Visualize a feather in front of your nose, and you're trying not to disturb the feather. Hold it, feel it in your abdomen, in your stomach. Then breathe out. Breathe in, soft and light, in through your nose, all the way down to your abdomen. Hold it, feel it, let the exchange happen. Then breathe out. Full exhale. 4 seconds in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 second hold. 2, 3, 4. 4 seconds exhale. 2, 3, 4. Okay? And so what we're going to be doing is practicing that for 3 to 5 minutes a day, 3 times a day. And it's going to get you out of that flight or fight response, out of that stress response, and it's going to root you in the present moment where you're at your most powerful and at your most clear state of mind. So, and it won't happen overnight, but it's a process, and we're going to start that process. So to recap, wow, we went through a lot today, didn't we? We really did. We went through a lot. So congratulations, commend yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. This is the time when, yes, you should be proud of yourself for doing everything that you've done. So to recap, Bound Nature journaling. We're going to be journaling the 3 usual suspects. So we're going to be doing that for the next 2 weeks to uncover those 3 usual suspects and the body sensations, the emotions, the thoughts, and behaviors that are tied to that. And then you've got your gratitude list every day, every morning. So starting with your day with that, 5 to 10 minutes, going over your gratitude list. And then if you're trapped in a downward spiral and you notice that, along with, you're going to be Bound Nature journaling when you get a chance. I would say 10 minutes a day is as long as you're consistent with it. That's the biggest thing. But if you're trapped in a downward spiral and you really need help, then go to your gratitude list. That's going to be your first line of defense. Okay. And then breathing. Okay. 3 times per day. 3 times per day. So working on the deep breathing. We'll be working more on this together. But just working on the technique of it. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out, and just really letting yourself let all the thoughts and worries go. Things will come into your mind, no doubt. Your mind might feel extremely busy when you start to try to slow things down into your breath, but just be aware of the actual process of the breathing. Take any notes down that you notice and bring them to the group page or with myself or whatever coach you're working with at the time. And we can go through all of this. And if anything really comes up and you really have that 911 emergency, if it's a real 911 emergency, call 911, no doubt. But if you have something come up where you need help, please reach out. We are here. We're always here, 24/7. Myself and the rest of the Way of Life team, Coach Anthony, and the people that you're surrounding yourself with. So yes, congratulations on lesson 1. And we'll talk to you soon. My name is Forrest. Have a great day.